The end of the modern world might not begin with chaos. It might begin with silence. Somewhere deep underground, inside a military command bunker, a radar technician notices something unusual on his screen. At first, it looks like a glitch, but the object keeps moving. Fast. Too fast. Within seconds, more appear. Those aren't just random objects. They're intercontinental ballistic missiles, nuclear ones. An alarm echoes through the command center. Phones begin ringing. Officers rush into the room. Computers calculate the trajectory, and the answer they get is terrifying. These missiles are headed towards major cities. At that moment, the world enters the most critical 30 minutes in human history. Because nuclear war moves fast. Once a missile launches, it travels thousands of kilometers through space at speeds over 15,000 miles per hour. From launch to impact can take less than half an hour. That means world leaders have only minutes to decide how to respond. And that response is almost always the same. Launch everything. This strategy is known as mutually assured destruction. It means if one nuclear power attacks, the other launches its entire arsenal before it can be destroyed. The result is a chain reaction of nuclear launches across the planet. Within minutes, the sky could be filled with hundreds of nuclear warheads traveling towards their targets. But how could the world reach that point? Today, global tensions are at an all-time high. One of the most dangerous flashpoints is the growing conflict in the Middle East, involving the United States, Iran, and Israel. The region is engulfed in a large-scale war. US bases across the Gulf regions are under fire from Iranian missiles and drones. If a conflict like this escalated further, it could pull other powerful nations into the fight. Allies join, and suddenly a regional war becomes a global one. If nuclear weapons entered the conflict, the first targets would be military infrastructures like missile launch sites, air force bases, naval fleets, and command centers. In the Middle East, locations hosting US forces such as Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, Dubai, and other strategic bases are immediate targets. But nuclear war doesn't stay limited to military bases. Soon the list expands to major cities such as Washington, D.C., Moscow, Beijing, London, and Paris. These cities are centers of government, communication, and military leadership. Destroying them could cripple a country's ability to respond. Now imagine standing in one of those cities when the unthinkable happens. High above the skyline, a nuclear warhead detonates. The first thing you see is the flash. A burst of light so bright it looks like a second sun has appeared in the sky. For a split second, shadows disappear. Then comes the heat. The temperature at the center of the explosion reaches millions of degrees. Everything near ground zero is instantly vaporized. Buildings disintegrate. Metal melts. People close to the blast don't even hear the explosion. Seconds later, the shockwave arrives. A wall of air pressure tearing through the city. Skyscrapers collapse. Bridges crumble. Windows shatter across miles of streets. Entire neighborhoods vanish. But the explosion is only the first phase. After the blast comes radiation. Radiation is invisible, but its effects are devastating. People exposed to high doses begin experiencing severe symptoms known as radiation sickness. Nausea, vomiting, hair loss, diarrhea, and internal bleeding. Hospitals would quickly become overwhelmed, and many hospitals might not even exist anymore. Then comes fallout. After the explosion, radioactive debris rises high into the atmosphere. Winds carry it across vast distances before it falls back to the ground. This radioactive dust contaminates water supplies, farmland, and entire regions. Even people hundreds of miles away from the explosion could become exposed days later. Now imagine this happening across multiple countries at the same time. Within the first hour of a global nuclear war, dozens of cities would already be destroyed. Governments would struggle to communicate. The modern world, built over centuries, begins collapsing in a single day. But the real catastrophe might come later, because nuclear explosions don't just destroy cities, they can alter the planet's climate. When multiple nuclear bombs ignite massive firestorms in cities and forests, enormous amounts of smoke rise high into the atmosphere. This smoke could block sunlight from reaching Earth's surface. Scientists call this effect nuclear winter. Without sunlight, global temperatures drop. Crops fail across entire continents. Food shortages spread across the world. Even countries untouched by nuclear explosions could face famine. Billions of people could struggle to survive in the years following the war. The skies would grow darker, the climate becomes colder, and the planet itself more hostile. Today, several countries possess nuclear arsenals: the United States, Russia, China, France, the United Kingdom, India, Pakistan, and North Korea, with Israel also suspected of possessing a few warheads. Together, they control thousands of nuclear weapons. Many are kept on constant alert, ready to launch within minutes, which means the line between peace and catastrophe is incredibly thin. Throughout history, the world has come dangerously close to nuclear war more than once. False alarms have triggered missile warnings. Radar systems have mistaken satellites or rocket launches for incoming attacks. In several cases, a single military officer chose not to launch a nuclear retaliation and may have saved the world. Humanity has been lucky before, but luck isn't a strategy. So what if nuclear war actually began tomorrow? The explosions would be devastating. The aftermath could be worse. Civilization would collapse, and entire ecosystems would change. The survivors would inherit a planet struggling to recover from the most destructive conflict in human history. And that possibility is exactly why nuclear weapons remain the most feared technology humanity has ever created. Because once the first missile launches, there may be no stopping what comes next. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing. See you in the next one. Thank you for watching.